we talked about parallel lines, okay? The one thing that you have to remember is for parallel lines, their slope are equal. They are the exact same, okay? Slopes are equal. So if we had a slope of, I don't know, 2, a parallel line, another line, if it's parallel, that slope has to be 2 also. Okay? Slopes are equal. Pretty simple. Parallel lines. All right? Now, if you look at this question, determine whether the graphs of y equals negative 2x plus 1, x minus 2y is equal to negative 4, then y is equal to 3 are parallel. Now, there's 3 different equations. If we're determining if they're parallel, the only thing that we need, only piece of information that we need is the slope. That's it. If we can tell that, then we can tell if it's parallel or not. All right? So, the first equation, what's the slope? Negative 2. So for our first equation, the slope is equal to negative 2. Okay, for our second equation, what's the slope? Well, from that, what form is that in? First. That's in standard form right now. Okay? We need to change it to slope-intercept form so we can tell what the slope is. All right, so go ahead and rewrite it. And we're going to get it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so we can tell what the slope is. Awesome. If I have to tell you to keep your head up more than 3, is it 3 times? Yeah, 3 times. I'll make you stand. So that's once. Okay, so. Huh? Yeah, your head was down. Well, I mean, you're laying your head down. You're not taking notes, so that's why I said your name. Okay, good. Okay, so number 2, we got to get it in slope-intercept form. We got to figure out what the slope is. So I'm going to minus x from both sides. Get y by itself. All right. So I got a negative x, and I got a minus 4. All right. Last step, get y by itself. Divide both sides by negative 2. Y is equal to, now if you do x, yeah, think of that as a 1. So that would be 1/2 x. A positive 1/2 x. Okay?
Why would it be 1/2?
Because if you think about it, x divided by 2, or negative x divided by a negative 2 is pretty much negative 1 divided by a negative 2, and just keep the x. Okay? Yeah? No? No? Okay. So it gives, yeah, negative 4 divided by negative 2 gives me a positive 2. Now, what is my slope of this equation? 1/2. So my m is equal to 1/2. Okay? So we have the first and the second slope. Last one we need to look at is the third equation. Now that third one is just y equals 3. What's the slope? There is no slope.
There is none. That's one.
Yeah, there is no slope. If you graph that for number 3, if you graph that to 3, y equals 3, you would have a dot right here for 3, and the line would be a straight line. So that would be no slope. So looking at these 3 slopes, we have a negative 2 slope, we have a 1/2 slope, and we have a no slope. Are any of these lines parallel?
No.
No. They are not. Okay? So that is
How do we know if they're parallel?
same slope. Parallel lines.
Oh, if they all have the same slope?
Well, if just 2 of them, like if the first and second one had the same slope, you would say the first 2 lines are parallel. The third one is not.
Okay.
Yep. Only thing you're looking at is the slope in terms of parallel lines. All right. Line has to be parallel to that original equation of y equals 1/2 x minus 3. So, for our new equation that we're going to have to write, what is our slope going to be if it has to be parallel to that first equation?
Y equals 1/2 x.
What is our slope going to be for our new equation? If it has to be, it's going to be 1/2. Yeah, perfect. So we know that. That's good. We know that it has to have the slope of 1/2 because if we're talking about parallel lines, they have to have the same slope. Have to. Okay.
B would be negative 3.
They're different numbers.
Now that we have a slope, okay, and our line has to go through that point, -1 and 2. So we can use y equals mx plus b, okay, our slope-intercept form, to figure out an equation, right? Because, first of all, we have a slope. And we also have an x and we have a y. Now, the only piece of information that we're missing is the y-intercept or the b value, okay? So we can plug in our y for y, which is going to be 2, our m for m, which is going to be 1/2, and our x for x. Our x is what? -1.
And plus b.
Plus b, okay? Because we're trying to figure out what that b value is so we can write a new equation of a line, right?
You said I was close, I wasn't nowhere near that.
Close. Good thinking. Now, yeah, 1/2 times a -1 is going to give you a -1/2. Okay, you're just going to be working these problems out right now. You're just solving. So 1/2, add 1/2 to both sides.
So b would be 2.5.
B would be 2.5.
Oh.
Now, the last step to this equation is, now that we have a b, yes, last step is to put this in slope-intercept form because we have a b value or a y-intercept and we have a slope. So your final answer would be y equals, what's my slope?
1/2 x plus 2.5.
Yes. So that would be correct. Okay, we're going to plug in our x and our y because we know our slope is -4. So my y is 4. My slope is what? My x is what? My b is what? Good. -4 times 0. 0. So you're left with 4. Okay? And now the final step to this, to put this in slope-intercept form, use your b value
Oh man,
and use your slope.
Good job. 4 equals 0 plus b, but I didn't do that. I got confused.
You would plug it in. Guys, make sure you only plug in the slope and the y-intercept. Okay? So the slope is -4x, okay, plus 4. Instead of parallel lines, okay, the slopes are the same. Perpendicular lines, their slopes are the reciprocal. Wait till I get through with this. Okay? Their slopes are the reciprocal. So, if we had a slope of 4, let's say if we had a slope of 4, a slope that would be perpendicular to that would be negative. First of all, if it's a positive number, it changes to a negative. First thing you do is change the sign. So if it was a negative number, you would change it to a positive. That's the first step.
What? I don't get it.
You change the sign between positive and negative. If it's a perpendicular slope, first of all, if it's a positive number like we're looking at with 4, it would be negative. Okay? You would change it. And let's say, these are just notes. Let's say if the original slope was a -5, okay? Yes, it would be a positive number. Now, the second part to this is, remember, 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. Does everybody understand that? You can put any number over 1. Same thing with -5. You can put that over 1. And when we're talking about slope, because remember, we're doing rise over run. Rise over run. So we're going to go, for the first one, we're going up 4 and over 1. For the second one, we're going down 5 and over 1.
What number are we working on?
Just notes. Just notes.
Did you just make it on the
Yep. Okay. So, if we look at our first slope of 4, the second part to it, the first thing you do is change it from, if it's a positive, change it to a negative. Okay. If it's a negative, change it to a positive. Second thing is you flip it. What I mean by flip it is you flip numbers 1 and 4. So your new slope would be -1 over 4. For the second one, instead of -5 over 1, it would be flipped to 1 over 5. And remember, I changed the negative into a positive. That's what reciprocal means. Guys, pay attention. This is a very easily...
Reciprocal was like a toilet. Like
Now let's say if our slope... Guys. Let's say if our slope is -2. What is the reciprocal of -2? Positive 1 over 2. Okay? That's what reciprocal means. Let's say if we had a slope of, TJ, of -2 over 5. Where's your piece of paper? Should you run this up there? I'm talking to Kevin. After I get through this. Faster I get through this, faster you get these brushes.
about 10 minutes in, dude.
Yeah.
You can't go 10 minutes. It's really fast.
I don't, that's our policy rule, but I'm not a big
Goes like
stickler on
11
that.
minutes.
Guys, hush. Yes, you do. Fine. Does not matter. Does not matter. Okay? What's the reciprocal of -2 over 5? 5 over 2.